So today, you shared a really beautiful piece of writing with us. It's a blog post from Carrie Masati.
hmm
And our mission today is to sort of cut through all that seasonal noise it talks about and, give you a shortcut to really internalizing its message.
And it is such a perfectly timed message.
hmm
Carrie, who's this really well-known confidence catalyst and writer, she calls the piece, Your Presence is the Gift.
Yeah,
And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're looking at a huge pile of year-end reports or, a mountain of gifts to wrap. The pressure is kind of the same.
it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
We know you, our listeners, you're experts at efficiency, at optimization.
Yeah.
But what happens when that whole mindset starts to bleed into the parts of your life that are supposed to be about rest,
Huh?
but connection?
Exactly.
We're here to basically pull out the permission this piece is offering, the permission to
Hmm.
say no to that more idea
Yeah.
and just focus on being human.
Well, and the comparison between professional striving and holiday striving is so key. I mean, at work, we measure everything, right? Output, ROI.
Okay.
But then during the holidays, we sort of subconsciously start applying those same metrics to making memories, to planning dinner. It's wild.
Okay, so let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Carrie's whole point is almost deceptively simple.
Yeah.
She asks, what if the most meaningful thing you could offer this year was just you?
It just stops you in your tracks, that question. It forces you to pause and question all those metrics of success we've accepted. We're always trying to optimize the material stuff around us, the gifts, the food, the decorations. And in the process, we completely de-optimize ourselves. We just run our own batteries down to zero.
That exhaustion, that is exactly the tension she starts with. The world is just screaming at you to keep pushing.
Yeah.
It's that constant drumbeat of more gifts to wrap, more meals to plan, more memories to make, more. It makes you feel like whatever you're doing right now just isn't enough.
And that's where, that professional mindset is so relevant. We're conditioned to think that if we just try harder, the returns will be bigger.
Right. More effort, better outcome.
But a family dinner doesn't follow the rules of a business plan. You can't just optimize connection.
So that pressure to perform,
Mm-hmm.
it leads us to create what she calls the curated version of ourselves.
Mm.
The perfect host, the parent who has it all together. Why is that so tempting?
Oh, because it feels safe. It's controllable. I mean, if the presents are wrapped perfectly and the table looks amazing, you get this little hit of success.
A sense of competence.
Exactly. But that do-it-all person is so busy trying to achieve the idea of the holiday, they completely forget to actually be in the holiday.
It's the deliverable versus the experience. Are you focused on the perfect meal, or are you focused on connecting with the people you're sharing it with?
And that is the fundamental disconnect Carrie is pointing out. What the world demands, performance perfection, is the total opposite of what the heart offers.
Which is?
Well, she says, just your open heart, your calm presence, your quiet love. That's not a transaction. You can't measure that.
Carrie really nailed this point about the curated version versus the real one. When you strip away all the frantic stuff, all that's left is you. And that's who people actually showed up to see in the first place.
It's about dismantling that assumption that love has to be shown through spending a lot of money or just being completely exhausted. Your value is in who you are, not in what you produce for the season.
Which brings us right into the second big idea, the magic of just showing up. It sounds so easy, but being truly present, that takes a huge amount of focus.
It does. It takes real intention. Carrie writes, there's a kind of magic in the moments we stop striving and simply show up, fully present, fully human, fully here.
That fully human part, that's the permission slip right there.
It is. It means showing up with the energy you actually have, not the energy you think you're supposed to perform.
So let's dive into what that presence actually looks like. Because it shifts everything from giving stuff to just being.
Right.
What do the people who love you actually need?
It's not more stuff, it's connection. And Carrie's list is so grounding. She says they need the way you listen when they speak, the comfort you bring just by being in the room.
Yeah. And the way your laugh can totally change the energy of a room. All of those things are about your existence, not what you spent.
And that's the thing, they're passive actions. They rely on you being there, not doing more.
It just completely redefines success for the holidays, doesn't it?
It does, but I can see a potential counter-argument here.
Well,
What about the person whose love language is acts of service? The person who genuinely loves to bake all those cookies.
that's a really important question. I don't think she's saying stop doing things you love.
No, not at all. It's about checking the motive behind the effort. I mean, if baking 50 kinds of cookies brings you genuine joy and connection, that's beautiful. Go for it.
Right.
But if you're doing it because you're afraid people will think less of you if you don't, Or if it leaves you so tired you can't even hold a conversation. That's when striving has tipped over into performing.
Joy versus obligation. That's the key. This reminded me of a moment a few years ago. The holiday was just pure chaos. The kitchen was a wreck. Dinner was late.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And I was in this total spiral, feeling like a complete failure. And what settled the whole room wasn't the food finally being ready. It was my cousin, who just came and sat with me while I was quietly freaking out.
She didn't try to fix it.
No, she just started peeling potatoes. Didn't even talk about the problem. She was just there. Her presence, her calm, it just shifted everything. The lesson for me was that sharing this stress was so much more valuable than solving the problem perfectly.
And that's what gets stored in our long-term memory, that feeling of shared space. People will remember that presence, that comfort. They will not how many gifts you gave or whether the cookies were homemade.
That feeling of being seen, it doesn't fade.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so let's talk about the antidote to all this pressure. She calls it grace. And it's not just a nice idea, it's an active permission slip for being imperfect.
Yes, it's the practical framework. It's how you actually start to dismantle that internal performance review that's always running in your head.
So she breaks it down into 3 actionable ways grace can show up. Let's give them some space. What's the first one?
The first one is letting go of the pressure to make everything just right.
Oof, that's a big one.
It's huge. It's permission to have a messy house or order a pizza or serve a dish that's a little burnt. It's about realizing that perfect isn't the goal.
Yeah.
We see this at work too, right? The endless polishing of a presentation.
Oh, yeah. You spend so much time on the polish that you lose momentum on the actual substance of the project.
Exactly. Okay, so the second grace is slowing down long enough to notice what's already beautiful. We miss so much of the joy that's already there, a kid's laugh, the way the lights look, because we're moving so fast trying to manufacture some future joy.
That noticing part is everything. It forces you to stop looking for the flaws and instead see the light that's already in the room.
And the third one, which might be the hardest, is saying no to the noise so you can say yes to what matters.
Setting boundaries.
Yes, a critical boundary setting mechanism. It means choosing that quiet conversation over the party you feel obligated to go to. In a work context, it's realizing you can't do everything and guarding your time so you can focus on what's truly important.
I loved how she tied this into faith and confidence. The confidence to just show up, flaws and all, and to trust that showing up with love is enough. I mean, realizing it's not about doing more, it's about being present for the moments that matter most. That is such a relief.
It's a hard-won confidence, though. We're so trained to measure success by things we can see, the praise, the output. Carrie is gently reminding us that our internal state, our quiet love, is actually the most valuable thing we have. It's the highest ROI on your time you could possibly get.
So if you're listening to this and your heart just feels a little tired right now or your life feels a little messy, let this whole deep dive be your permission to just take a breath. You don't have to chase that optimized, curated perfection anymore.
You're not falling short. You're showing up with love. And that's the real gift. It's permission to be tired, to be human, and to trust that your presence is really the anchor your loved ones need.
So what's the big takeaway for you? The message is just so clear and encouraging. Your authentic, fully human presence is worth more than all the seasonal striving. Just drop the curated version.
Embrace the real one. And while the whole message is about presence over presence, she adds this lovely little PS at the end.
Oh, right. I forgot about that part.
She reassures us that this isn't about, never giving a physical gift again. It's about shifting the reason why you're giving it.
From obligation to joy.
Exactly. Choosing pretty things, chosen with care, that make the season feel a little more joyful with no pressure attached. It's a gift as an expression of joy, not a fulfillment of duty.
A nice bonus, but it's secondary to the main event, which is our time, our attention. That's the truly scarce resource.
So if presence really is the greatest gift, maybe here's a thought for you to carry this week. Which relationship in your life has suffered recently from your striving instead of your being?
Wow.
And what's one single non-material thing, a moment of just listening maybe, or just quiet comfort that you can offer them right now?
That is a phenomenal thought to sit with. And just a reminder that the best thing you can bring to any table, any meeting, any gathering is just you, your true self. Thank you for sharing this. It was just what I needed to hear today.
And if you want to soak up more of this encouragement, you can read the full blog and discover more of Carrie's favorites and Sparkle tools at thesparklelounge.com.
We hope you take a breath this season. And remember, your presence truly is the gift.